All right, welcome to the Brain Power channel. If you're new here, my name is Bowen. I am the host of the Brain Power podcast and also a contributor to Morpheus, which is a decentralized AI project you can check out at more.org. Making a little bit of a different video today than I usually do. This is something I'm going to be trying and just kind of plugging in additional content for everybody surrounding decentralized AI and Morpheus more specifically. But today, what I'm highlighting is the capital dashboard for the V2 Morpheus capital contract, which is a tongue twister, a lot of information. But basically what this is this is a way for you to invest in decentralized AI in the new agentic internet using stablecoins without taking any principal investment risk. And so I'm just going to walk you through how to do it really quickly, and kind of like a step-by-step guide. And yeah, hopefully it's pretty helpful for you. So what I did first is pulled up a Coinbase account. First thing you would do if you wanted to do this was, make a Coinbase account. That's pretty self-explanatory. The directions are really great. And go in and deposit cash. So when you go to deposit cash, you could either deposit United States dollars or USDC. In this case, I'm going to deposit USDC. Let's say you wanted to deposit $100. It'll be connected to a bank account, which you connect through your Coinbase account. And I'm obviously blurring some of these things because it's personal financial information for myself. But we would preview, deposit now, boom, we're good. In this case, I already have money in the account. Now, Coinbase does this pretty great thing where you can deposit directly into USDC, which is a stable currency that lives on top of blockchains like Ethereum, layer 2s like Arbitrum and Base, which is Coinbase's native layer 2, and then also things like Solana. And if you hold USDC in your account, which is pegged to the dollar, they will actually pay you APY for doing that, which is great. I mean, this is better than a high yield savings account, or at least, it doesn't have the time restraints that a high yield savings account would. The downside to this, though, is it is a centralized entity that's still taking custody of these assets. This is, if you ever heard the phrase, not your keys, not your crypto, this is exactly what they're talking about. This is contingent on Coinbase, the business, giving you access to these funds, as opposed to you just directly having access to them through whatever wallet you're using. And so in this case, we are going to take this balance of USDC and we are going to hit send, and we're going to actually send it to this Rabby account that I have set up here. Rabby is a digital wallet. There's a lot of digital wallets you could use. You could use something like MetaMask. You could use something like Soulflare. You could use Kepler potentially. This is Rabby, which I'm going to use for this example. There's tons of videos out there on how to set up Ethereum wallets, and maybe if there's enough demand for it, I'll make another video kind of covering that. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit receive. I'm going to be receiving this USDC on Ethereum mainnet. So this is going to publish this address here. I'm going to copy the address. I am then going to come back over to my Coinbase account. I'm going to paste it, hit enter. And it's going to ask me, what do I want to send? In this case, I want to send on Ethereum mainnet. So this is the blockchain that I'm going to be sending the USDC across. You'll notice that there's a fee for Ethereum mainnet. That is simply because block space is more expensive on Ethereum L1 than it is on Ethereum L2s or something like Solana down here. If you are aware why that's the case, great, you are definitely crypto native. If you're not aware why, there's a lot of nuance to this, but long story short, block space, or the ability to use bandwidth within any given block, is more expensive on Ethereum layer 1. So we'll just leave it there for now. I am going to send 100 USD or 100 USDC. Let's preview this send. It's going to charge me $100.28, and we're going to send it. Oh, I got to confirm my passkey. Always use two-factor authentication, people. It is in your best interest. And as you may or may not know from being involved in crypto, there is no shortage of scams in this space. All right, so that was sent. We're going to give it a minute here and see how quickly it takes to get retrieved. And in the meantime, I can refresh my wallet here. Okay, so just refreshing the Rabby wallet here, you'll see that the USDC has made it to the wallet. Funny enough, it's actually off by about 6 cents because although it is 100 USDC right now on Ethereum mainnet is actually slightly off its peg to the US dollar. That happens from time to time. It is going to be extremely close all the time, and sometimes you can actually catch a really slight premium to the dollar. So I'm not going to worry about that right this second, but that's the explanation as to why this balance is a little bit lower. So what we're going to do now is go to dashboard.more.org. You can also just go to more.org and hit the capital button, and it will bring you to this dashboard, which is where you can go to stake your assets. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect my wallet, hit connect at the top, and then hit Rabby. It's going to ask me if I would like to connect. I'm going to say yes. And now you'll notice that my wallet is connected here. Let me make sure. Okay, so now my wallet's connected. So I actually forgot to do something, this is really common. I'm actually glad a little bit that I forgot to do this because it might be something people run into. I forgot to put mainnet Ethereum ETH in this wallet address, which I'll need to pay the gas fees in order to transact on Ethereum layer 1. So bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to move some ETH over to this account and then we'll keep going. Okay, we're back. You'll actually notice now when I refresh the balance, there's $111 because I moved a little bit of layer 1 Ethereum to this wallet. So when I refresh the dashboard now, it'll actually show my small ETH balance here, which I can use to pay gas fees. Again, super common thing people forget to do, especially when they're using different wallets and different addresses. So I'm a little bit glad that I made that mistake because it's just one of those things that is always good to remember to pay gas fees. So this is the new Capital dashboard. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit deposit. You're going to see my 100 USDC is available here. So this deposit will be initially locked for 7 days. And I will get into that. Actually, I'll just get into it right now. So let's explain what's happening here when I actually execute this transaction. So my USDC is going to get converted to Aave staked USDC, which Aave is a DeFi protocol that runs primarily on the Ethereum blockchain or the layer 2s, and it is a decentralized lending platform. What's happening is my USDC is getting added to a pool of USDC that other people can borrow from by using their own assets as collateral. So let's say I have $1,000 of Ethereum in Aave as collateral, and I want to borrow 100 USDC, so a 10% LTV loan from Aave or from this USDC pool that I'm about to deposit into. I could do that, on the other side of this. But what we're doing here is we're actually supplying liquidity to those lending markets. As a reward for supplying liquidity, you are earning yield based on the interest that the borrowers are paying to borrow from that liquidity pool, which is why people refer to this as decentralized banking or going bankless, because you are acting as your own bank here. Because this is really what your bank is doing. When you go down to your local Chase or Wells Fargo or whatever it is, and you make a deposit, they're lending that money out to borrowers, whether it be through mortgages, card notes, personal loans, whatever it is, and they are keeping that yield. In DeFi, you are actually keeping the yield that your money accrues. Why does this matter for the Morpheus contract? Well, when I stake my 100 USDC right now, that is being converted to Aave staked USDC. I still own this $100. So this base collateral or this principal asset, I still own, and it's pegged to the dollar, so there's not price risk that I'm taking. But the yield that's being accrued by the decentralized lending is actually going to the Morpheus protocol as protocol-owned liquidity. And in return for that, I am receiving an emission of more token based on the total amount of yield or value that my stake has generated. So previously, this was only possible using staked ETH, which is a great thing. And as you can see, I mean, there's more than 9,100 staked ETH there, which is a incredible amount of money. I believe it's like over $40 million. But you are also taking the price risk of ETH because you as the staker are still holding this principal asset. What makes this update so important is the fact that I can now take a one-sided investment basically in the Morpheus capital contract while I still own this underlying collateral that's not exposed to price action because it's pegged to the US dollar. So your deposit is initially locked for 7 days after you make the deposit. After that, you can withdraw your capital at any time, and it's completely permissionless. Nobody can stop you from withdrawing your capital. But if you look down here, you can lock your more rewards and actually earn a multiple on the amount of more that you are receiving as part of your emission based on how long you're willing to lock it. And the protocol is basically encouraging hodling. It's encouraging people to make long-term investments in this protocol and in this project, which is one of the key tenets basically of Morpheus that kind of drew me in. Is everyone really that I'm aware of who's working on this or working within this ecosystem has really long time horizons in mind for this technology that we're developing. So let's say, so the minimum is 7 days. The maximum is actually, well, you could really theoretically lock for as long as you want, but you're receiving your maximum multiple at around 7 years. So what we're going to say is we're going to say 5 years right now, and I'm going to stake this USDC, and my more unlock date is going to be October 7th of 2030. But in return for that, I'm receiving an 8.5% multiple on my yield. So what this is basically like saying, instead of staking $100, it's more equivalent to me staking $850 today, because that's the rate that the emission is going to be paid out to me based on the time that I staked and also how long I locked my emission. But as a reminder, this is only locking my more emission. It is not locking my principal investment. So I still have access to withdraw this principal investment at any time following the initial 7 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 5 years, approve USDC. It's going to reopen my Rabby wallet here and make sure I want to do it. You're going to want to read through the contract. It's showing me a 47-cent gas fee, so I definitely overkilled it by sending $12, but no worries. I'm going to sign this transaction. I'm going to confirm this transaction. We are processing. I don't know why I'm narrating every single step of this, but I guess it felt natural. Hopefully these videos will get a little bit better as I make more in this format. Approve successful, which is basically me saying, hey, I approve this smart contract interacting with my wallet. I'm going to confirm the deposit. Gas fee is a little bit more for the actual confirmation. Remember, this is ETH layer 1, so you're going to have more expensive block space than you will in something like a layer 2, but it's also more secure. I'm going to sign the transaction. I'm going to confirm the transaction. And just like that, boom, $100 has now been invested in the new Agentic Internet. And it's as easy as that. Hopefully this was easy enough to follow along with. If you have any questions, I mean, definitely reach out. I'm available on the social platforms for Morpheus. There's tons of community members who are willing to help you. And look, we're already, this is what I'll be accruing and more daily for this position. And it'll be available for withdraw on October 6th, 2030. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
You're listening to Brain Power.